Ladies and gentlemen, things are heating up, and it's why we're back in front of our Dan K Show fireplace here in the original Dan K Studios, bringing you another week, the final week of the season. Not the final week of the show, but the final week of the season in the USPHL. It is championship week, and we are coming to you a day early here to catch up with the BAHSTON championships, the championships in BAHSTON. And with that in mind, we're going to get into my three things right here. Number one, I said I'd talk about it this week. I'm doing it right away. The Florida Eels, Lucas, a USP3 and elite squad heading to Boston for these finals. For an organization to send two teams, Lucas, how much talent does it really take?
Oh, a ton of talent at all levels, from the players, the coaches, the staff. You know, I feel like I repeat myself a lot when we talk about that, but it's because that's what's actually happening. You know, when an organization is developed so well and they can communicate the message of success throughout all their levels, you get something like this. You get the same team in two different levels bringing a team all the way to the finals.
And you know, a team they're going to be meeting there, the Hampton Roads Whalers. You have two different organizations in the South sending two teams to Boston. Hampton Roads, Florida Eels, class organizations clashing in Boston. Next, we go into my second of my three things. My two choices for the championship, Lucas. Do you know about my two choices for the championship? The Deneen Cup Championship?
No, because you refused to tell me in pre-production.
Day one of the season, I made a little bit of a prediction. I made a little bit of a thing. I said some things. I say a lot of things. But these things were the most important things. And Lucas is going to find out a little bit later why I am the greatest of all time. And third and finally, we're shipping up to Boston. Well, not us personally, because Lucas and I have things called jobs. And we have to work those jobs. So we're not going to be there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with you, but you're going to be there. We're going to be watching from home. We're going to be bringing you as much as we can via social media, and we are ready for the title. We hope you are as well. Who will take it home? Probably one of us, because we're the greatest. But the teams have to get something. They'll get some kind of hardware.
Well, yeah.
We'll see what it is next. We're going to talk about it all this week on the Dan K Show. Deneen Cup champions, the Jersey Hitmen. Hitmen in game one. Josh Hankey. Josh, how you feeling after the win? Oh, Josh sticks away! Oh, what an incredible... And we're back, and better than ever, talking about something that is bet or a bet, right? We made a bet. See, in week one of the playoffs of the postseason, I made predictions. Those predictions were incredible. People loved them. People were reaching out to me, telling me, Dan, you're so handsome, you're so intelligent, you're so smart. And I was like, world, stop it. Okay? We get it. We get what I am. I know you want me to run against Trump. I know you think I'm the only one who could win. But we can't right now. It is illegal. I am not of the proper presidential age. But with that in mind, we did make a bet, Lucas. You know, after I did all my perfection, all my perfect picks, we made a bet. We tied. We both went 5-3 in 8 games.
Well, you know what? You were so good in that first week, and I think what happened is once the big boy, you know, kind of woke up and put on his prediction pants and threw himself in there, you got a little rattled. And I will say that we did tie. We were 5-3, like Dan said. And the bet, if you remember, was that the loser would have to pay for dinner for the winner.
Yes.
But since we tied, what we have decided is that our producer Lena is going to pay for a night out for both of us.
Lena,
so
thank you.
Thank you, Lena. Sitting just off camera. You are an angel for volunteering for that. Really, thank you so much for resolving that deadlock there.
She does,
waving
she's
to us.
She's waving to us. She's letting us know. I mean, the amount of support we get from Lena each and every week, and the laughs and chuckles she has behind the screen. You know, her reactions, Lucas, it's what you live for in this business. When you can see someone really just enjoy your craft, she's really the reason why you make it as good as you make it. And that's what makes the Dan K Show so
So
great.
thank you. Thank you, Lena.
Lena, we all know. Lena is famous for her impressions as well. She has very good impressions. She does upset producer, annoyed producer.
Angry producer.
Angry producer is one of her best ones. But this one, she's going to do an impression of producer paying for dinner. And we're both excited. Hey, thank you, Lena. And with that in mind, this tied bet goes into something that I was even better at than picking games. Picking two teams to go to the title at the beginning of the season. Lena, turn on back here on the Dan K Show, and we are ready to talk about something that lets people know that I am the smartest man they ever met. Beginning of the year, we had a discussion about who is going to take home a title in the Premier, right? Who's going to be in the Deneen Cup? We talked about who are the teams that are going to get there. Lucas, he picked the Junior Bruins. He picked the South Shore Kings. Great choices. Two teams who really, really punked me when they won in the first round, and I didn't pick them. They went right after me. They tore into my heart. I tried to pick the Bruins in the next round, made a wrong decision because I went against myself at the beginning of the year. And never go against yourself when your name's Dan Kemchek. I've learned that, Lucas. So, at the beginning of the year, I said one thing. Everybody was picking against the Jersey Hitmen, and I said, prove to me why they won't win it. They won it last year. Prove to me why they won't be in the championship until someone does. They're my pick. That was number one. Number two, I've told you all year long, never pick against Shawn Tremblay. If there's anyone who is the one that knocks, it is Shawn Tremblay. That is the one that knocks. And I don't want him knocking on my door when it's championship time because he's bringing home a title. And that's what he does. He wins. You know? Crab cakes and hockey, that's what Shawn Tremblay does. This is a guy from Maine. He's a Mainer. He likes lobster. And he likes winning hockey games. Lucas, I'm going to give you a few seconds here to praise me. How good is it that I made that prediction at the beginning of the year?
He's from Maine. Why'd you go with crab cakes?
I panicked.
Lobster. That's the thing.
As you know, there's very little preparation up here. I just have to go off the cuff, and sometimes some stupid things come out.
It doesn't surprise me that stupid thing came out when you were thinking of Shawn Tremblay. Because to be fair, he's a scary dude.
He's scary. He's very intimidating. You never want to say the wrong thing.
You say Tremblay and people jump. And like, where is he? He's in Maine. So you don't have to worry about it. Unless you're in Maine.
Well, he's not in Maine anymore.
No,
now he's in Massachusetts.
So if
he's
you're in
gonna
Massachusetts
be in BAHSTON
with him, then watch your back. But other than that, you should be all right.
But I want to break into this game now. You know, we've talked enough about how scary Shawn Tremblay is. Lucas, let's make a prediction. We're both not going to get a chance to be there. We're going to be watching at home. Mm-hmm. Let's make a prediction. Who are we picking to win it? I think on the count of three, we can both decide who we have to win it. Because Lucas and I, all year, we've tried to count to three and say the same thing at the same time. I think this time, there's only two teams to pick from. I think we both know who's winning the title.
You know this isn't going to work, right?
It always doesn't work. Let's try it. 3, 2, 1. The
Jersey
Islanders
Hitmen.
hockey. Lucas, we talked about it at the beginning. The Islanders Hockey Club, you break into this with a coach like Shawn Tremblay, an organization like IHC. They've been in first. They win the Founders Cup. They run through the regular season. They've dominated all year long. Brendan Van Riemsdyk leading the way. Ace Cowens. You got Will Brophy. You got Max Daigle. Owen Powers, your captain, isn't even in the top 5 in scoring because of how good and talented this team is. How do you pick against them?
I mean, easily. I said Jersey Hitmen instead of IHC. And the reason I say Jersey Hitmen is because of all of the momentum they have coming into this. You know, like a lot of times I know we talked a lot about the show about momentum, and sometimes it's good. Sometimes, you know, is it a real thing? Like, can it really affect the team? And I think the Jersey Hitmen, coming off their success last year, moving into all the success they've had this year, I mean, look, they are a high-scoring team. All right, and yes, IHC has a really good defense. They've only given up, I believe, 5 goals in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if the Hitmen can find a way through that IHC defense and put a couple of goals up on the board, on the flip side, IHC has not had much of an offensive production in the playoffs. Yes, they've had it when it counts, but throughout the game, they haven't been nearly as dominant as the Jersey Hitmen have been. So I think if the Hitmen can work their way through that IHC defense...
Yeah, but you're going to work your way through a defense, Lucas. I don't know if you saw a tweet. I tweeted out an unofficial message from goaltender of the Islanders Hockey Club, Anthony Tirabassi. Once again, I really wish there was a flavor of Italian ice called Tirabassi. It would be a great call. But Anthony Tirabassi, I posted an unofficial message from this young man. He's 3-0 come playoff time. All right, he's faced 74 shots. He's stopped 71. His goals against average is sub 1. This guy is doing something that is impossible mathematically. He's giving up less than a goal a game, but not 0. It's just out of this world what this young man's done. And you know what his unofficial message was?
What?
You know what it was? Have you ever seen Willy Wonka, Lucas?
The new one or the old one?
No one's seen the new one.
Right, that's a good point.
No one likes Johnny Depp. No one likes anything that is...
The tweet. Come on.
Okay.
The tweet. Say it.
We'll get out of that. I tweeted an unofficial message, Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. I said good day. That's what Anthony Tirabasi's telling these offensive players. And you're telling me they're just going to break down the wall that is Anthony Tirabasi. This guy goes to work every day with cinder blocks. This guy is putting cinder blocks in the goal, okay? He's like Rocky Balboa, okay? He's out of West Philadelphia, born and raised. On a playground is where he spent most of his days. But when he was doing that, he was learning how to play goaltender, Lucas. And he is putting up a wall in net. This man has not just stood on his head, he has stood on his feet. Because he's gone so far around circles.
Dan, he's going up against a guy like Walker Summer, though, who's got 7 points in the playoffs, 5 goals.
Don't bring a name
games.
like that into this, Walker Summer. It's a great name.
It's a great
That's
name.
An incredible
Way to
name,
go,
Walker.
man. Good job. But yeah, aside from his name, Dan, he is a goal-scoring machine.
But, I mean, you have goal-scoring machines on the Islanders Hockey Club as well. You got Tyler Siflin with 3 goals in his 4 starts. You got Brent Baudouin. Brent Baudouin. He's got 3 goals. He's got 1 assist as well. You got Brendan Soucy, loosey-goosey. And you know what man's not even gotten on the score sheet yet? Other than an assist. He's got 4 assists. 0 goals for Brendan Van Riemsdyk in these playoffs. You're telling me a young man with the last name Van Riemsdyk is not going to get heavily involved come championship time? I think it's 3 games. I think it's IHC. I think they take home the title. I don't think the Hitmen can repeat. I think it's just too difficult.
Look, I think if the Hitmen can shut down Brendan Van Riemsdyk, and you see what happens when they shut him down, they stop him from scoring goals, he's relegated to an assist man as opposed to a goal scorer.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, but their offensive production does slow down, Dan. The statistics do not lie. So if the Hitmen can focus on keeping Brendan Van Riemsdyk away from the goal, they will take it in 3.
A lot of ifs in there. Once again, Lucas is wrong. It'll be proven this week. Lucas, you know what? We've tied a lot. We've tied in a lot of the predictions we've made this year. We tied in the playoff predictions. We tied in the next round of playoff predictions. And now I think it's time to break that tie. There's only one winner to this one. One of us has to win. Unless there's some never-ending tie that never ends and they have to just give the trophy to both teams. That, in that case, we'll just split the trophy in half and we'll quit.
Or if IHC wins, but the Hitmen steal the trophy before they can...
They might do that. They could do it. You never know. I don't think anyone would ever do that. But let's not let jokes aside, Lucas.
Right.
What are we wagering on this? For real, something has to happen to the loser this time. For real. On camera, on tape.
I don't know.
Well, after Lena buys us dinner.
Well, that first.
You mentioned putting weights on our pants and
Yes.
jumping in the ocean. How about without weights? Losers got to jump in the water. Some kind of water.
Well, not some kind of water, the Atlantic Ocean.
The Atlantic Oceans.
Yeah, loser has to jump in the Atlantic Ocean.
All 3 of them?
There's just one.
Oh, there's one ocean.
Yeah, no.
One of the Atlantic Oceans we're jumping in. That's going to happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to happen, and it's going to happen to Lucas, and you're going to get to watch it on camera. I can't wait. Wait. Wait? What is wait? I can't wait. It's a Dan K show. Let's move on to the next segment before I lose my mind. Folks, I'm going to reach for this. I'm going to try to not knock it over. But, it's time to get serious. The USP3 in the Midwest, all year we've talked about how great both have been. Right? And we've laughed and we've chuckled and we've had our fun and we've talked about some of the great teams. And Lucas has always been smiling and loving the hockey out there. But now it's time for them to come together and see who is truly the best. Lucas, who do you think is the best team out of these 8? Who's the team that comes out on top this week?
Dell's Ducks.
Dell's Ducks.
Dell's Ducks.
And now, as much as I'd love to agree with Lucas because quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth, quack, quack, I have to go from that same Midwest Western Conference, which is the funny thing. And I'm going with Forest Lake. Forest Lake is a team who was tested trying to get to this next round. They were almost knocked out. They were on the brink of defeat from the Rapids River Kings, the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings, and they were able to survive. And I think that is where character is built, That's a character-building win. The first loss was a character-building loss, and this is a team that's ready to take a title. I think it's the Lake Show taking home this title. Lucas, explain to me What's been so strong about the Midwest Western Conference? Has it just been the fact that the offense has just been too good to handle? Is that it, or is there more to this conference?
Well, I think that's the main thing, that when you look at the amount of goals that this conference as a whole is putting up, it's actually kind of staggering.
Yeah.
They're just, and it's like every team's an offensive machine.
You have 5 teams, Lucas, I'll put it this way. 5 teams with over 200 goals scored this year. They've played 48 games. 48 games, over 200 goals from 5 of your teams. That is unheard of. It is offensive hockey. It is opened up. It's almost like in the NBA where you've seen the West Coast kind of open up the game.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen teams like Golden State, they've opened it up. They've made it a more offensive game, an open floor. That's what you're getting in the Midwest Western Conference. And I think it's going to be a style of play that some of the East is not ready for. But one thing I'll give you, the East loves to slow the game down and make you get hit. They are going to be brutal on the defensive boards. They're going to be back-checking. They're going to be blocking shots. They're going to be ready to go. So prove us wrong, East. I mean, we're Eastern guys. But I think it's the Midwest Western Conference that really shows their might.
Well, it's interesting. We've been to a couple of games on the East Coast this year. We've done some commentary. We've just gone and watched. And like you said, it's a very slowed down game. They're going to hit you. They're going to dump the puck. They're going to pin the puck on the boards. But you watch a couple of these games, the Midwest Division, and it's like they're playing over the entire rink at all times.
It is, and it's an open game. It's really opened up. There's a little bit of a European flair right now in this USPHL Midwest. And when you see the East, we say slow down. It's not a negative sense. It's in a sense where there's just such crisp passing, but there's even better defense. The guys are filling passing lanes. You don't have the room to move. You don't have the places to put the puck. And the goaltending is just fearless and incredible in front of every shot. And you see these two styles clash, and a lot of times defense wins championships. So really, the money's got to be on the East. You got to go defense wins championships. But I think the offense is going to be just enough from the Midwest to take home a big-time USP3 title. We're going to have to watch to find out, though, folks. I think it's time for the empty net, the last empty net of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the empty net on the Dan K Show, our favorite segment, and it is our last time doing the empty net of the regular season, of all the seasons, of the postseason of the USPHL year. We're excited for it.
I was going to let it go, but on the last segment, you asked me a question. You said, which team is going to be the dominant force in the Midwest? And I answered Dell's Ducks because that is the correct answer. And you cut me off. I had a very well-reasoned argument. It's right here. There's like flowcharts and there's like a couple of pages worth of stuff. But then you just said the Forest Lake Lakers and gave a bunch of reasons, then ended the segment before I could give you a proper rebuttal. So I'd really like to explain myself now, if that's okay with you.
You can explain yourself, but I've learned from some of these debates that if you just shout over the other person loud enough, you don't have to be right or wrong. You don't have to worry about the other person's right or wrong. You just shout loud enough. And I did that pretty well, and that's why Forest Lake's going to win.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you, Dan, because I think Dell's Ducks is going to win.
Okay, let me hear it.
You talked about Forest Lake taking the tough road in, being challenged. Well, Dell's Ducks have been challenged too. In fact, and I have to admit to this, I picked the Cougars to beat the Ducks. And so I'll admit to that on camera. I picked the Cougars to beat the Ducks, and the Ducks ended up surprising me with that victory. And I have to respect that. I have to respect a team that comes in and against all odds, I shouldn't say all odds, against my odds, comes in and wins, and tough games too.
Yes.
They have great defense, especially playing in a division as tough as the Midwest, which is a high-octane offensive league like we just talked about. The amount of defense that they've been able to put up against that division is just astounding.
You know what, Lucas? I got to agree with you that with echoing the things that I said, and the points I was making, really. And Lucas, we really complement each other well. It's a great pick. I like Dell's Ducks. You know why? Because I'm going a little Quackers right now, and that's why I'm saying all these nice things. Quacktastic, right?
What are you doing?
I can't duck the tough answers.
Stop it.
I can't. I'm running out of duck jokes, Lucas. I'm running out of duck jokes. Do you have any more? Do you have a duck joke?
It seems like a pretty intense malady you have there.
Oh, man. I don't feel malice. I feel mallard. Let's move on. In the empty net, we've gotten so much social media love, so much social media hate with our picks, with our bad picks, with our good picks. And Lucas, what do you want to say to the people that have been on social media really this time, really getting involved with us?
Thanks. It's been awesome. Keep doing it. We love getting interactions with people. When I have that little notification go off on my phone and it tweets at me, and I'm like, oh, hey, somebody on Twitter. And I had somebody actually tweet at me asking me to do the Midwest predictions because I almost forgot to do them again. And he said, what about the Midwest? So I gave Midwest predictions, and I had people, talking about my predictions, and I saw people talking about your predictions. And we say this every empty net, but this show's all about you guys. So the more you tweet at us, especially when we do predictions and when we tweet stuff out, the more that you can talk to us about, whether you hate it or love it. We always love it.
I mean, the show's a lot about me, but it's also all about you guys at the same time. But it's also like all about me as well. I mean, my name's on it. But let's move on from that. Like what I'm talking about here, Lucas, is social media interaction. We're talking about the social media love, the hate, the this, the that. And we're also talking about the USPHL Network's Twitter account, which we launched this year 5 months ago. And in 5 months, 700 followers. Pretty solid. I'm pretty excited.
Yep. As of 2 hours ago, on the date of this filming, we hit our 700th follower, which, since the Twitter account's inception, represents a 70,000% growth.
70,000%. You know what's better than 100%, Lucas?
70,000%.
And that is correct, and there's nothing better than 70,000%. I don't think there's a bigger number in the world. I'm not good at math, though. But, Lucas, keeping that in mind, we're about to go into the playoffs. We gave some of our predictions. You're going to see more of them on social media. Lucas and I will be tweeting them out as we go here. We're going to be following along. We're going to be keeping up with it all. I've got Tremblay. He's got Toby Harrison, the big Dineen Cup, the big tournament, the big finals here. And, folks, if you're not involved with us on social media, get involved. Write to me at Dan_Kemchek. Write to Lucas at LJones1138. That stands for the amount of goals he'd score if you put him on the ice today. And we're quacking up, We're quackers. Couple of ducks here. Getting our ducks in a row.
Couple of ducks on the pond.
Couple of ducks on the pond. You don't want to pronounce that C. You just give it, couple ducks on the pond. That's how you say it back in the day, folks. That's how you said it when I was on the ball field, on the ball diamond. But, folks, we've got the ducks on the pond. We're going to drive them all in. We're going to drive you home now because it is time to go. Lucas and I are going to go take in the finals. We hope you're taking them in right now, and we hope you're ready for what is the best final part of the season you can watch. It's going to be the next time we talk to them. The next time we talk to these people, Lucas, season's going to be all done. Something we got to plug real quick. Awards. Award season, Lucas. Do you know what we're going to be doing for award season?
Giving out awards?
We are going to be giving out awards right here on the Dan K Show. We are going to have daily episodes, 2 to 4 minutes long, so you can watch them quick online. And we are going to be awarding all of the best players in all of the levels of the USPHL. So you're going to have to watch us here, because if you don't watch the Dan K Show, you're not going to find out. This will be the only place, the one and only place, for your news. So make sure you're watching the Dan K Show. Make sure you continue watching. And Lucas is going to tell you exactly why with a beautiful monologue like he does at the end of every show. Parting words, Lucas. He wrote no, but his pen's kind of running out of ink, so it almost wasn't seen. For me, I hope you keep watching. I hope no one got hit by that pen that Lucas just threw. Sometimes things are dangerous. The sport of hockey is fun to watch. We love you. We love you USPHL fans. We love you Dan K fans, and I love myself just a little more. Lucas, as always, I had a lot of fun with you. Remember, folks, when Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. And when it's time to go home, we
go home.
Yeah, we go home. See you guys later. We're going home. Lena, turn off the camera.